Coming up, was there a massive uptick after the show that came out? Like in sales? Was it fucking insane?
I owe my life to reality TV. I lose way more than other people even try.
Bro, I feel like such a chump. This is crazy.
No, let's marry Harry.
Bro, I'm going to start selling houses. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Let's do it.
Bro.
Tyler Cameron just joined me. He was a bachelor. He just joined me. He's crushing it, cranking houses. He's buying houses, flipping houses, selling houses all over Florida.
Wow.
He has a significant amount of female clients. I'm sure you would have the same.
Meet Harry Jowsey, reality TV heartthrob. He's been loved, ghosted, cancelled, and kissed. He spilled his guts.
I did what?
In a world of ghosting and dodging red flags, Harry's filling his boyfriend's toolbox one lesson at a time. It's Harry Jowsey, boyfriend material.
What is going on, my loves? This week, we are live in New York, and we're joined by an absolute powerhouse of real estate and reality TV. You've seen him $1 million listing New York, and now executively produces and stars in Owning Manhattan on Netflix, which you can watch, where he leads his team through the reality and drama of real estate in the Big Apple. And if it wasn't enough, he's got some acting credits under his belt. It's Ryan Serhant. What's going on? Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, you got it.
Cool.
Nailed it.
I was stressed. Wow.
Nailed it.
Brother, what are you not doing?
I help humanity one house at a time.
Okay, that's a good answer.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't paint a lot. I probably will never run a marathon. I mean, I could give you more and more.
Because my favorite thing, because I was on your Instagram and stuff before, like you're pushing out so much content, like nonstop. How does that? It's you? You're making it happen?
I mean,
or is it you? Is your ideas? Whose ideas is it?
The content?
Yeah, just nonstop.
Listen, like I moved to New York City in 2006 to be an actor.
Okay.
And against everyone's wishes. My parents said, don't do this. No job, no nothing. I rented a one bedroom with two friends. We turned it into a 3-bedroom. And I promptly ran out of money. And so a friend of mine said, listen, acting is like selling. You know, you play improv games, you meet people on the street, they're gonna rent, they have to live somewhere. So they might as well make the choice of where to live with you instead of doing it by themselves. And so you're using your personality, you're meeting people where they are emotionally, so on and so forth. And so I put acting to the side, got into real estate just to pay my rent so I didn't have to move home. My number one goal back then was to make $2,000 a month. And that was my job. I was kind of like, you know, I was just at a meeting on 49th and 6th Avenue. It's like, this is where my career started. Yeah. Above a burger restaurant on 49th and Madison. And my two clients were either at Saks Fifth Avenue. If you had more than 2 shopping bags, I would profile you, and I would assume you could afford a new apartment because you were rich with 2 shopping bags from Saks Fifth Avenue. Or if you were pregnant and you wore like Lululemon pants at Starbucks, then 100%. Those are still some of my clients to this day because I'd say, you look great. You also look like you need a new bedroom for your upcoming bundle of joy. My name is Ryan Serhant, and I'm a real estate agent, and I just got into the business. And a handful of those people got back to me, and I showed them, and I rented them a 2-bedroom. I rented one woman a 3-bedroom, and then they bought later down the line. So like, that's how I got into real estate. It was never to be a real estate agent. It was never to be a CEO of a real estate company, the fastest growing real estate company in the United States, which is just like
that's crazy,
mind-boggling to me. The content thing started because I was cast on $1 Million Listing New York on Bravo in 2010. That show comes out in 2012, and people start reaching out to see if they can buy the properties that are on the show. But we shot the show a year ago because you'd shoot in 2011, it comes out in 12. We shot season 2 in 2012, it came out in 2013. And the show was about selling properties. So either we sold them or we got fired. And then this thing gets invented called Instagram, which is just photos. At the time, and there was YouTube, but it was mostly like for kids, and it was clips and stuff. It's like, man, what if I could show property but not have it show a year later? Like, what if I could show a house today and put it out to an entire world in a way that I don't have to pay for? Because you should just push your marketing as advertising. Yeah. And so I just started taking really fun photos of houses in 2012 and 13 on the original Instagram, and putting it out there and letting people follow along on the journey of selling them, and started meeting clients that way. And I didn't have to do postcards or advertisements in magazines. It's like, okay, I could also do this on video. I'll just put it on YouTube. That's weird. And no one was doing property tours and house tours on YouTube. And so people recognized me from Bravo, but then they could also see me on YouTube. Bravo had a huge issue with it because they were like, no, we want people to come, Thursdays at 9. That's where they see Ryan showing houses. I'm like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But that's a year from now. I need to sell this building tomorrow.
But they didn't see it as like a marketing vessel, or they would just knew.
They
right?
would now,
Okay.
like Netflix does, obviously.
Yeah.
But at that time, there was competition in terms of eyeballs. Is the same pair of eyeballs going to watch you here, here, and here? And you've seen now, like it's hard if you're known on social. You've done a great job of it, but a lot of people to then go to long form media, that's a tough jump. They're like, I already have you on my phone. And if you're long form and then you go social, they're like, but like for what? Like what's the purpose? And so we were so lucky because we were so early in figuring out what is the math look like if we take content, we build community, and we turn that into commerce. And I can go from C to C to C, from content to community to commerce. And we started doing that with real estate 13 years ago. And now here we are.
It's crazy.
It's a long answer.
No, it's perfect. Take me back to 2006, because moving to New York City for acting, I feel like I probably would go to LA, right?
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, for sure.
Why did you pick New York?
I grew up outside Boston.
Yeah.
I was born in Texas. I went to college in upstate New York. My friends, because I went to college in upstate New York, were coming to New York City.
Yeah.
And it was just like emergency driving distance from the closest people I knew. My two brothers, my one brother at the time was in Massachusetts. My little brother moved there later. And I didn't know anyone in LA. I didn't know anybody. It scared me. I went there a couple times because I did a soap opera called As the World Turns.
Wow.
And so I would do some auditions and things, and you spend so much time in your car, and it is so lonely. People say New York City is lonely. I think LA is the loneliest city ever, unless you have a great network of friends and people. Like I have a great network in LA now. We have our office there now, and it's awesome. But at that time, like if you don't have a network of people, you're either in your apartment or you are in your car. And you go from isolation to isolation to isolation. In New York, whether you like it or not, you ain't alone here. Like you sometimes are so not alone in New York City. You're like, man, I wish I was in a car. I wish I was by myself in my apartment, but you can't afford it. So you live with so many roommates. You go outside. There's 11 million people on the streets right now at 1 p.m. in New York City. Like every single person is a new relationship, and they're a new opportunity, and they're a new conversation that can literally set your life into a totally different trajectory if you allow it to happen. You can do that in other cities. It's just harder. And so I just chose New York.
Wow. Dude, I've never heard that, but it's true though. In LA, like so lonely.
Yeah.
Like all the time. I want to talk about like your evolution, because I feel like a lot of creators and a lot of people in this space really don't evolve. Like we had this other guy on the podcast, and she, like her transition has been like really incredible to watch, because I feel like you can't just like be stuck as one thing forever, right? So you came for acting, real estate, now reality TV and real estate. Where do you think you see yourself going next? Is it you're always gonna be like this version of yourself, or do you think politics? Like I could see you.
No, I think I've always valued, how do I keep a certain level of surprise? And so I'm a real estate agent and I do a reality TV show. Okay, now I'm going to do my own reality TV show called Sell It Like Serhant. Then I'm going to put my wedding on TV and my renovation on TV. I did 4 spinoffs for Bravo.
What?
Now I'm going to write books. I'm going to write 1, 2, and 3.
What the fuck?
Then I'll do a podcast. I had a serious podcast. I was the worst podcaster of all time. I think you have a hard job. Because I think you actually care. I just didn't care.
You're doing so much stuff.
I didn't care. And then, okay, that's kind of how I think about it, is continually finding a different way to keep the coaster going, but surprising the people who are on for the ride.
What's been your scariest drop then in your roller coaster?
Agreeing to go on a podcast about sex and dating, for sure.
Yeah, this might be the biggest one.
Yeah. I got this email. It's like, I know Harry. He's the man. He was super nice to me when I met him in LA. I don't know if I should go on that. Can you ask? Like, that's not really my brand. Like, I can't,
Well, you fucked now. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't this one's going to be a weird one for me.
Yeah. How did you find that event? Because we met each other briefly.
It was Netflix summer house. So it was all the reality shows that were coming
They
out
didn't
that
do
summer.
it anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did one at the pier, like the one after that, and then it was.
I think it's just expensive.
Yeah, and also I don't think they were getting what they needed out of it.
Yeah.
I think everyone was just getting drunk and getting crazy.
That's well, you take a bunch of reality TV stars and you stick them in a mansion in L.A. and you give them alcohol and they're like, all right, let's go. Oh wait, no, get off the pool.
Yeah,
like, it's
stop
like
kissing.
It's a house party.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a bit crazy. Do you ever come back out to LA?
Yeah, we just opened our Beverly Hills office, my Orange County office, my San Diego office.
What the fuck is going on? When do you sleep? Like, what's happening?
When do I sleep? I sleep Friday nights usually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I was gonna say because I remember seeing also I think a TikTok of your schedules, like 15-minute slots.
Yeah.
Who does that for you, or are you sitting there the night before slotting everything? Like, who's running all this?
His name is Dean.
Dean. Shout out Dean.
Yeah, Dean does that.
Okay.
Until he taps out, and there'll be a new Dean.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
There's a good suite. I mean, Danny works with me on brand and content, but there's a big studios team behind him. I have a big executive team. It's like 22 people. There's 250 employees now.
That's so admirable. Like I'm sitting here like, what a little bitch I am.
No, man. I love what you do. I love what you. If you guys understand, like I am older, and I saw what reality TV did for me in a very short period of time. And $1 Million Listing was, I think it was really at like the peak of cable TV. Like $1 Million Listing premiered when Netflix was still DVDs. There was no streaming.
Okay.
Right. So this is 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was must-see TV if you liked real estate and business and that kind of thing. I was like, all right, so like, what do you do when you like catch a flame? Right? How do we make it bigger? Because I can't wait on other people to make it bigger. I have to be the one who's pouring gasoline on my own flame.
This episode is brought to you by JLab. We love them so much with my whole heart. Life is yours for listening. JLab inspires people through innovative personal technology, headphones, earbuds, speakers, work peripherals, and gaming. Feel it, hear it, live it. Find where you feel alive with JLab. Guys, I need headphones every single day. I go to the gym. I need to listen to my music. I need to blast it. When I'm going on a walk with the dogs, you always need music to feel alive and to feel amazing. So JLab is the best headphones and the best speakers that money can buy. And I really appreciate the quality of sound that comes through these headphones. If you're traveling, if you're editing the podcast, or you just need to shut the world out, grab yourself a pair of JLab headphones, because they are so comfy, they're so sleek, and they're so amazing, and we love their technology behind the noise. Head to jlab.com, use code Harry to save some money. That's JLAB.com with code Harry. Feel alive with JLab. How did your first reality show come about? Like, how'd you get cast for that?
Dude, I got out of acting in New York in 2008. I get my real estate license, and I'm like, I don't want to be an actor anymore. It's emotionally terrible. It's so hard, and you get rejected to your face all day long, especially me, because I had gray hair when I was 23.
What, really?
Yeah, and so I would dye it, and it was so annoying, and then I wouldn't dye, and so and it just and you make no money, so and you have to make money to live in New York unless you have money, which I did not, and so I put it to the side, and then there was an open casting call at a hotel in Times Square in March of 2010. As looking for the best real estate agents under the age of, I think, 30 to do the New York franchise of a show called $1 Million Listing that was in LA at the time. And so I'd done a soap opera. I knew how to be on camera. And so I just showed up at the open casting call with 3,000 people. And over the course of 9 months, they narrowed it down to 3 of us. Yeah.
Holy shit. What made you stand out? What was because 3,000 people in person, like casting call, was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary. What do you think was your piece that made you stand out?
I think I'm pretty weird.
Okay.
And I think I'm authentically awkward and weird, even though I look super American. But I was young, but I had gray hair, and so I think the initial casting directors looked at me and said, I don't really understand. Is he a young kind of dude, or is he secretly old, but we can't tell? Is he funny, or is he just uncomfortable? Let's hear him talk. And I told him I was the greatest fucking real estate agent in the history of the known universe. And I'd been doing it for like 4 months at that point. And I went in there with an attitude of super humble, and I respect the opportunity, but I just don't care. And that's the one thing that I learned when trying to be an actor. You go into every audition wanting the role. And when you want the role, you don't get the role. When you don't want the role, there's a much better chance that they're like, actually, could you come back? Could you come back? And you're like, I gotta go. Like I tried for 2 years to do movies, auditioning left and right.
Yeah.
I didn't do any. Quit acting, get into real estate, get a reality TV show, and then Noah Baumbach calls and Ben Stiller. They're like, we see you on this reality TV show. We'd love for you to come and audition for a movie we're making called While We're Young with Naomi Watts and Amanda Seyfried and Adam Driver. It's crazy. And I was like, yeah, this is spam. And like hung up the phone.
What?
So then they're like, and so then they come back and they reach out. Their casting director reaches back out. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll come in and I'll read for you. And so I go to the audition, and I had put auditioning aside because I got into real estate at that point. And it had been 4 years. And I was immediately taken aback. I had PTSD because I go into this room and there's like 50 guys dressed like bankers. It was the role of a banker. And I'm like, dude, you called me to ask me to come up. I have a job now. I can't. And so I waited and I waited, and then I missed one of my showings, an appointment I had to go on. So I was just annoyed. And so by the time I got into the casting room, they're like, "You ready?" And I'm like, "Bitch, I've been ready." And I did the sides. I'm like, "We good?" And I got up and left. They called me 2 hours later. And they're like, "One of the most authentic auditions. If you'd be willing to do the part." Well, I was like,
What?
If I had only known 4 years ago, just to walk into
That's crazy, bro.
Same thing on the $1 million list. I think the way that I really got it was they narrowed it down to like 16 of us, where Bravo was auditioning 16 real estate agents in New York, and they said, we're going to follow each of you around for like half a day, see what your life is like. And I had to prep because I didn't have a very exciting life at the time. And so I prepped, and I borrowed a friend's car, and I got a brand new suit, and I had a friend of mine show up. And I'm like, I'm going to show you this apartment. It's going to be great. And then I didn't have any like actual listings. And so I had an arrangement with another agent where I was like, then I'm going to bring the cameras and we're going to come to your listing right down in the Village. And halfway through the day, she texted me and canceled. And so then I'm having a panic attack. I don't know what to do. And so I just like go into the bathroom. I tell the people they have 1 second because this is my big moment. You know, I could do this big show or not. And I remembered, I don't know, maybe it was 2010 or 2009, going on a date with a girl and going to a restaurant, and she was late. But then she came in, sat down, said hi. She got up and went to the bathroom, was gone for like a while. She came back and said, so sorry, something's come up and I have to leave. And she left. And just ghosted me. And based on maybe how I looked or how I have no idea. And I thought about that moment for a long time. And so I'm in the bathroom in the middle of this audition. I'm supposed to be with them for 3 more hours. I think about that girl leaving that dinner. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. I walk out.
No way.
I walked out to the casting people and the production team, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know I'm supposed to take you to the next thing. We're put the next couple hours. Something's come up. I got to run. I'm sorry if this doesn't work out. And I left them in someone else's house, and I just like bailed. And yeah, 4 days later, they emailed me and they were like, I don't know what you did, but that was awesome. We'd love you to be on the show. And it's like, mother.
So you just don't show up, or you just
No. You show up
but leave.
and leave. The Irish exit is a great business strategy.
Bro, you know how many people are going to come to your office for a job?
Yeah, they will. And I'll never hire them.
Hey, I'm out. See you later. Nice to meet you. I've got to go, actually.
But it worked. You can ask a lot of the people that have worked with me now for 10, 12 years. You know, our staff I'm incredibly loyal to them. They've been very loyal to me. And they know if they've read my books or followed me along, like they know the power of follow-up. Like if you come, et cetera, like you follow up with me. If you can't follow up with me and you want to work at Serhant, why would I ever think you have the ability to follow up with a client or on a potential deal? Like if you prove to me that you are willing, to stay on me. And that is a skill set that is really, really, really hard to teach. But if you have that in you and it's innate and you can move through kind of the endurance, it's like running. Like everyone can run further than they want to, but will they? Same thing in business.
But at what point is it they're just being annoying? Or that's
I mean,
what you want?
No, I'll tell them, hey,
Piss
this
off.
is not happening. No, or you delete it, or you move on. It goes to spam. But it's on them to find that breaking point. And sometimes the breaking point is the right timing, the right place. Let's meet tomorrow.
So you said you have over 1,500 people at your company now.
No, it's over. We have over 2,000 now.
Over 2,000?
Yeah, and I'm opening Colorado on Tuesday. I don't know when this comes out.
What the fuck is going on? This is crazy.
Dude, life is short, man. I gotta move.
Yeah, you're not like meeting all those people, right? There's someone else hiring them.
I don't
at this point.
We have a hiring team.
Okay, I was gonna say
I don't sit, but I do. I mean, at our events and on deal flow. I mean, I know the majority of the people who work for us.
Yeah,
and then the calendaring is a big piece. Shout out to Dean.
Shout out Dean.
The Dean and the team.
Yeah. At what point did it get so big? Like, when did it start to really take off?
I had a real estate team in New York. I crossed $1 billion in sales in 2019. And I had a media company and I had an education company. I had $1 million listing. I had just written my first book, had a podcast. I was like, okay, so I can either sell clothes, I can sell makeup, I can sell consumer goods, or I can do the one thing that's really going to suck. I can go start my own company and I can sell real estate. Why sell shirts for 20 to 50 bucks if I can go sell homes for 20 to 50 million? It's the same work. And so I got together with a couple of us in COVID and said, we're going to start our own company. Let's see if we can build a content to community to commerce business for the most valuable asset on earth, which is real estate. It's a $400 trillion market. There's $1.6 trillion in real estate transactions in the United States alone. And our agents will be young, will be social forward, will be tech forward. We're going to build it AI native. And if no one cares, I'll do it by myself because that's what I do. If other people like it and they want to be a part of it, we'll have requirements and we'll let them join. And the first couple years were hard because it was COVID and it was crazy, and it's starting your own company by yourself with your own money is really expensive, and hiring people for the first time and going through that whole process. And then in 2023, the real estate market tanked because interest rates spiked. And so volume got hard. Buying a house became unaffordable. It became really, really tough. And I said, this is our moment. Let's see if people want to be a part of Serhant outside of New York. And the demand was through the roof, and we've just been opening states ever since.
Whoa. Wait, you said 2019 you crossed $1 billion. Where are you guys at now? Is it?
We do about $2 billion a month now.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do $2 billion. I'll do $2 billion this month.
$2 billion a month?
You have to understand, it's not as much as you think.
Brother, that's a lot.
It's not as there's $1.6 trillion in transactions in the United States. $2 billion a month is a very, very small piece of that pie. But it's growing,
Bro, $2 billion a month. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. I don't even think I've heard that number in my life. Like, that's crazy. You're just so nonchalant about it.
It's part of the plan, though. Like, I am so focused, and I am such a big believer in what we're building that, like, I don't get excited about the numbers anymore. Like I sold a property last year for $308 million.
Bro, I'm going to leave this
It was
podcast.
the most expensive home and kind of contiguous kind of assemblage of land maxing in United States history to date. And you do get a little numb to it. You're like, it's a deal.
Right.
I get excited about the next one. Like, what's the next one and where are we going to go? And like, our company really does help people. Like, we help the world move forward. We help buyers buy houses they couldn't, sellers sell in a way they couldn't. We help agents build careers in ways they couldn't elsewhere. Our average agent is 20 years younger than the national average of a real estate agent. And so I think they feel incredibly supported with us, and they also grew up with me. One of the benefits of building brand through content is, I mean, Danny can tell you, most agents who come to us, they're like, listen, I could work anywhere. I'm in this business because of you. I've watched you, I read you, I've listened to you. Let's fucking go. And the customer acquisition costs at that level ends up becoming zero. And so our unit economics, I think, are the best in the business. And that's why we're going to win and destroy everybody.
This is sick.
Don't clip that.
Bro, clip that. That's fucking sick. Have you got any thoughts and feelings on that big property in LA that sold?
Yep. Richie's the man.
Love Rich. He's a good guy.
Richie's the man. Please tell him to buy a place in New York.
But he got fucking cooked on that. I saw a TikTok the other day. There's like scaffolding up. I think they have to rebuild it.
I don't know if he's rebuilding it. I think he's hyper specific.
Okay.
He understands brand and power. And he knows what he wants, and he's making it into literally the most incredible single family home the world's ever known. I think it's going to be insane.
Fuck, bro. Damn, that's a good answer. Because I saw someone outside of it who was like filming on TikTok, and he's like was going through all the problems. One of my other friends was bidding on it, and then he pulled out. He's like, "Thank God I did," because it just seems like it's never ending. I don't know when Rich is going to move in, but last time I saw him, he was like, "This is going to be my forever home." So,
No.
But like he's got. Like,
Where do you go from there? You don't downsize. You don't get a 2-bedroom.
And he's got endless money, so he's good.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, listen, man, like you don't want to punish success ever. Like the fact that he can do that, the fact that people can buy things, just show you that it's possible. And that's what I like about opportunity. That's what I get excited about. Like I don't get excited about $2 billion a month now. Like I get excited about 10. I get excited about the next one, and I get excited about, all right, how can we help people buy homes in one interconnected platform across Asia? Like, let's figure that out. And otherwise, like, what are we doing?
Bro, I feel like such a chump. This is crazy.
No, let's marry Harry.
Bro, I'm going to start selling houses. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Let's do it.
Bro.
Tyler Cameron just joined me. He was a bachelor. He just joined me. He's crushing it, cranking houses. He's buying houses, flipping houses, selling houses all over Florida.
Wow.
He has a significant amount of female clients. I'm sure you would have the same.
Dude, I'm signing up. Wait, where do you think AI is going with real estate? You said you're leaning into that. Is there any?
Yeah, we leaned back when it was called machine learning, and then it was rebranded in 2022.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm a salesperson, and the housing market is a housing obstacle course. It's not a market. Okay, a market is the grocery store. It's easy. You have money in your pocket. You need food. You go in. You pay for the food. You leave. An obstacle course is you go into the grocery store and you don't know where to go yet. You have money, but now it's not enough. And wait, now I need to borrow that guy's money, but I can't get it to get to the end of the checkout line. And then I thought I was coming in for potatoes, but it turns out there's no potatoes left. And then this, and now I need that guy, this person, this person, this person. That is what it's like to buy and sell a house in the United States of America. It is an incentivized obstacle course that only benefits the people who've made it through every individual obstacle. And as a salesperson myself, it's brutal. And it's all in Gmail and an Outlook and the documentation, and there's security risk and safety risk. And it is an unenjoyable process. I can't name a single person other than incredibly wealthy people who don't actually do any of the work because they don't need to, who's gone through the process of buying a home, getting a loan. It's like, wow, that was awesome. They don't. So how can you also create an enjoyable experience? So we created something a couple years ago called Simple that removes administrative tasks for salespeople. So like, let's start with, if we use Uber as an analogy, let me just start with the driver. Right? The driver is the agent. They drive the transaction. Let me just make it that much easier to get clients and service clients and complete the home transaction. And I think that has worked so well in so many ways that I'm really excited about how kind of, I would say, agent intelligence now can empower the best salespeople to help remove the friction in the obstacle course of the housing market. And that's what's happening right now. And it's a super cool time to
crazy.
be in the business.
Are you just always looking for like little holes or little pockets to just build something? This is wild. I don't know how your brain works like this. This is incredible. It's just nonstop.
You know what, man? Like, it's like acting in the city.
Yeah.
You know, it's a volume business. You go to auditions, you get it or you don't get it. 9.9 times out of 10, you don't get it. So you go to the next one and then the next one. And then you shift this and then you go there and the next one. And business is the same. You try, you fail, you try, you fail, you try, you fail. I think there's a website. I think it's called googlegraveyard.com. It's a really inspiring website to go to. That might not be it, but it's something like that. And it is a never-ending scroll of all the businesses Google has started and failed at and shut down. And it's really cool to go through because you're like, oh, wow, even the biggest company in the world, one of the biggest, has started like 600 other businesses that didn't work, that they had to immediately shut down. Even Jeff Bezos tried to have a phone. They had the Fire phone, and he lost $100 million in trying to compete in that business. He tried to compete with eBay. Didn't work. But all of that learning came together for Amazon to figure out, oh, Amazon Prime. Oh, Alexa. But you don't get there unless you learn through the failure. And I think that's what I try to do. I try to fail as often as I can.
Damn, bro, you were spitting today. Is he like this every day?
That's why he just shaved his head. He just can't take it.
Yeah, I get it.
He shaved his head yesterday. I haven't seen him until.
Wait, really?
Yeah. People kept coming like, did you see Danny yet? I'm like, no, why do you keep asking
Why'd
me
you
that?
shave your head?
Summer.
Okay, fair enough. Cool down. I want to talk about owning Manhattan. Yeah. How did that come about for you? Because it's pretty difficult to sell a show and also to produce it and then star in it. Like there must have been a lot of like gray areas. Like was there anything off the table when you were trying to sell it to Netflix?
So $1 Million Listing ran from 2012 to 2022. And at the end there, that last season of $1 Million Listing, they followed me as I started Serhant. I started the company. And then we were having conversations with Bravo about like, all right, so you start your own, these shows are formats. Yeah. You know, like imagine on Let's Marry Harry, if halfway through the season, you're like, I'm going to go to law school. Follow me. Wow. That's not the show. The show is you go on dates, you spit in people's mouths, and you see if they want to marry you, right? That's what happens. That's what happens. So that's your show. Yeah. And Bravo was like, so this is a real estate agent show where we follow 3 real estate agents as they help people buy and sell homes. It's not a 2 people sell real estate and 1 guy is setting up his own company show. That's a different show. Maybe it's time we don't do this anymore. And it seemed like the right place to end it. 10 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
But, you know, ever the showman, I was like, but I don't think I'm done telling stories. I don't think I'm done telling my story. Also, starting my own company is insane. And the agents who now work for me are crazy. I have basically gone from being behind the bar to being Lisa Vanderpump. And, Vanderpump as a real estate show. What if Vanderpump Rules met $1 Million Listing and had like a baby with Succession? What would that look like? Let's film a reel. So I got studios. We have a production company together. And we created a reel with World of Wonder, who made $1 Million Listing with me. And it was called House of Serhant. I was like, let's see what this concept could be like, and we'll take it to networks and see what they think. And we had offers from Amazon, Peacock, and Netflix. And I was really conflicted between Amazon and Netflix. And Jen Levy, who was on the Unscripted Time at that time at Netflix, she found me and cast me on $1 Million Listing in 2012. She created Selt Like Serhant. She did my renovation show and my wedding show, and she was at Netflix. And I was like, listen, Netflix is the place to be, obviously, but you also put out a TV show a day. And that was then. Now it's 4 shows a day. Like how can you make a show on a platform where you have to be searchable? Like on cable, you're discoverable. Someone turns on their TV, let's see what's available. On Amazon, there was less shows at the time. I'll be discoverable because I'll be there. They're not putting out a TV show every day. And it was a I was conflicted for a long time. Obviously went with Netflix, and it was, I think, the right choice. And they've been great partners. And Derek Wan's a great partner, and Jeff Gassman, we just talked about, is great. Yeah. And they workshopped the idea, and then they changed the title because they were like, people don't know what a house of Serhant is in Mumbai. And I was like, not yet, but they will.
But we're coming.
They will. And so they called it Only Manhattan, and it's been awesome, man. It's totally, it's changed my life. Like when that first season dropped, like I remember it came out on a Friday on June 28th of 2024. Yeah. And it was like a holiday weekend that next week on Monday, I pull up to our clubhouse in Soho, and there's like 20 people outside. The next day, there was 30 people outside. The next day, I'm like, oh, that's right. 300 million people have Netflix all over the world. And they were all families. And what I found real quick was because there's no sex or dating or a lot of swearing on our show.
It's boring.
And
Turn it up.
So Only Manhattan the real estate shows are big for families. So full families can watch it. Wow. And so we have families from all over the world who come to New York to meet me or to see the clubhouse and experience it. And they're like, yeah, this is the only reality TV show I can watch with my 10-year-old and my 15-year-old. Because other shows are too vulgar or like they're too, you're too.
I'm fucked, brother.
I don't know, like there's not a whole lot of parents who are like, hey, get our third grader. Let's marry Harry's on.
Yeah, quick, everyone, get the whole family.
Yeah,
the popcorn.
So it's just different audiences, and I was like, okay, so we're on to something. And the media flywheel for me is on any major, let's say, purchase, whether really like a house purchase, you have a mom, a dad, and a kid. Or you have the husband, the wife, and a mortgage banker or an attorney and somebody. There's usually three people that are involved in a big transaction and making that decision. And so I said, okay, Netflix will hit one spouse, thought leadership and books, LinkedIn, CNBC, Fox News, all the news will hit the other spouse. Social will hit the kid. So at every dinner table where they're making a decision on what company to buy, sell, or work with, the flywheel will be spinning because the kid will say, oh, we have to work with Serhant. I follow them on TikTok. They're awesome. Or the mom will say, I love that show. Or the dad will say, yeah, I saw them on CNBC. I really like their perspective on the market. If I just go after one category, you run deal risk because 2/3 of the dinner table don't know who you are and don't know who your brand is. And so anyway, you should do that.
Yeah, I need to do a family-friendly show. That's fucking...
You should.
I need to. I don't know. I'm probably too far gone, especially after this one coming out. Fuck, I was eating a girl's booger. Anyway, it's pretty crazy.
That's so gross.
You know Jen's at Amazon now.
Yeah. I'm very aware.
Okay, cool. Yeah. She's awesome.
I owe a lot of my career and success to Jen Levy, Randy Barbado, Fenton Bailey, Danielle King, who's now the producer of The Kardashians. Wow. She did all of my shows while I was at Bravo. Andy Cohen, obviously. We just sold his house in the city.
Oh, wow.
For him. Yep.
I met him yesterday.
You were at the Today Show. I was at the Today Show yesterday.
Were you there too?
So you did it live yesterday?
Yeah.
The pre-tape is right after. So he was doing the pre-tape for tomorrow. I also did the pre-tape for tomorrow. Oh, because Serhant has a partnership with the Today Show where once a month I go in and I talk about our markets and the houses and what you can buy. And so we just opened Texas. And so I was talking about Dallas. Yesterday, I literally went from a showing on Park Avenue for $60 million to the Today Show to talk about homes in Dallas for $600,000. And
this is
crazy. Like, what an interesting life. Yeah.
Bro, that's fucking crazy. When you were filming the show, were you ever worried about your clients being upset about this? Like, was there any ever fears with that stuff? Because I feel like
we've had some pissed off people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, in part, everyone signs the releases. You sign agreements. But we'll have clients who want to go on TV, okay? And they say, all right, just don't make me seem like an asshole. I'm like, great. Don't be one.
Yeah, just don't do that.
Yeah. You're like, no, but I know how these shows work because you're going to cut it and this and you're going to make me sound like an asshole. I'm like, actually, that doesn't really happen. What's going to happen is you're kind of an asshole. And so when it comes out on TV, everyone's going to tell you you're an asshole, and you've never had an introspective moment in your life, and you don't go to therapy, and you're going to realize for the first time ever on an international stage that you happen to be an asshole, and then you're going to blame me, and that's what happens. Like, that's what happens. Or people with like really ugly houses. You're like, well, I don't want to be on TV because people might think it's, tell me my house is ugly, and it's not. I'm like, could be ugly.
Wow. Was there a massive uptick after the show that came out? Like in sales? Was it fucking insane?
I owe my life to reality TV.
Wow.
Yeah, but $1 Million Listing put me in front of 20 million people around the world every week. I couldn't afford that type of marketing and advertising, and everyone told me not to do it. Same Bravo, what was I after that? I was then I immediately went to, I can't remember. I think it was in South Africa. Like real estate guy. And I go back to Ryan from 2008 getting into the business. And I'm like, yes, I am. Would you like to buy a house? Would you like to buy a house? Would you like to buy a house? It is marketing and advertising that you can't afford if you know how to use it. And you have to be able to tell a story. Like, no one cares about just being like pushed with a message. They have to follow along.
Did you lose any big listings from any of these shows?
If I did, I don't know, because they never came to me in the first place. I'm sure. Like but I always felt the benefit far, far, far outweighed the con.
Yeah.
All the business and clients that I would get from being so public, I would move my career so much faster and so much bigger than I would if I waited on the people who don't like that stuff. And of course, man, there's so many real estate deals that I don't do, and so many agents who will never work at Serhant because they don't like our form of advertising and marketing.
Yeah.
But the world's a changing.
Yeah. Damn. What's the biggest listing you've lost? Is there a crazy one?
The biggest listing I lost? Yes. I lose way more than other people even try.
Damn. Dude, you got the one-liners,
right? No, but it's true.
You're good. You're perfect for TV
because I deal with salespeople all the time, and they lose a deal and they get so upset about it. I'm like, your job is to lose.
Yeah.
When you're in sales, your job is to swing so often you miss more than other people even try swinging. Because if you do that, you'll connect more than anyone else ever would.
Yeah.
I had a deal on a building in New York City for $900 million. In early,
I gotta leave, bro.
Early 2020. No, this is a bad
numbers.
story.
This is crazy.
In early 2020, it was funded primarily by people who make their money in oil, and it was $900 million. The commission on the deal was 3%, and it was done. It was
I'm
done.
So broke. This is crazy.
And it was so done, and then people started getting sick in China. But whatever, we put the deals going forward. It's awesome. We're in due diligence, inspections, all that. It's the biggest single deal I've ever done. And then people started getting sick in Europe, and then people started banging pans. And then Trump shut down airspace, and then Tom Hanks got sick in Australia, and then the NBA closed, and the buyer says, "Seems like this COVID thing is going to take a second. We're all good. But let's just hold tight." And then New York City was shut down, and the deal died. And I think about that every day.
Has that client come back around? And
nope, never. I've done other deals now, though.
You're over $2 billion a month. Obviously, you're very happy, but that's fucking.
You remember,
crazy.
But you remember the losses. But I'm always okay with them. Like they're great stories. Like every loss, every failure is what do they say? Fail is first attempt in learning that type of deal and learning that type of client. And so I'm fine with it. It's like, oh, cool. Because the world is going to reward me with something else. Like when we started the company in the summer of 2020, it was COVID. Every deal was dead. And I just put everything I have into starting my own business. I was like, this is going to be the worst. Maybe I could do a rental. Like I need to figure out how to, this is insane. And one of the first clients we got, because it was COVID and the market was insane and the wealthy got wealthy and the poor got poor. And one of those people came and said, "Do you do Florida?" And I said, "Yes." I just started the company and said, "Great, let's go find a place in Florida." And by that Friday, I sold him a house for $133 million. It was the single most expensive home ever sold in the United States. And so like my whole world collapsed. COVID, it decimated everything. That deal died. But then God showed up in a weird capitalist way and said, it's okay. Just keep going. So I love failure. Even being fired, I tell people all the time, dude, like being fired is the best. You don't have to quit. Quitting sucks.
Is that what you tell people before they go?
All the time. Quitting sucks.
Like, this is good for you. Get out of here.
Yeah. Like I just gave you a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
You run. And like if I'm firing you, I have to pay you to leave. Like if you quit, you are like, that's weird. That's awkward. And so every loss is awesome. I've learned to love loss. It's amazing. And it just opens you up for that next opportunity. And that's the best. The greatest thing you've ever done in your entire life, you haven't even done it yet.
But surely you never always had that outlook. At what point did that change? Because like,
I think when I had so much loss, I was like copacetic.
Okay.
And it's like, what do I take? Wellbutrin, Lexapro, like what do I, everything is brutal and sad. And you just like being in sales is not for everybody. Like it is loss all day long. And I had to change my mindset because it is just mindset.
Yeah.
Like losing a game isn't real. Losing a deal isn't real. Losing a boyfriend isn't real. What's loss is like losing someone to death, to disease, to jail, anything else. It's not real. It's figurative. It's purely mindset and how you look at it. Doesn't mean you can't be sad. It just means you have to turn sadness into gasoline. And if you can use that gasoline the right way, it'll power your car. And if you use it the wrong way, it'll burn your fucking house down. Wow. And that's mindset. So I hate when things die and I hate loss, but I also love turning them into, new memories. And then I get to sit here and tell you about how terrible they were.
Bro, can you write 100 more books?
No. I wrote 3 and never again.
Yeah, I heard they're the worst to do. Like,
they're the worst.
They're the worst.
They're the worst. It's so hard. No one cares. No one reads anymore.
Yeah.
And you don't want to write a shitty book.
Yeah,
and so like, even making TV shows, man, it's so hard.
Yeah. Is speaking about the market today, where would you recommend young people to start looking to buy a home? Because I had a few friends say they got into Section 8, which sounds pretty wild. And then
you can go to housing lotteries for sure to rent.
Okay.
Yep, you can do that. You can do Section 8, right? There are vouchers. We're doing a lot more like co-purchasing. If you're willing to rent with somebody, pool your money together and maybe the two of you buy a home together. Maybe you buy an old rundown multifamily. It's not going to be everything you've always wanted, but maybe you get a floor, your friend gets a floor, their dad will buy the third floor. You don't have to own real estate the way you used to own real estate. The same way you don't have to have a relationship today the way we used to have relationships. Right, Harry?
I love how you point at me.
You're the only one in this room. Who else am I supposed to point to?
No, you're right. What's the hardest part about buying a property in the city for a young person?
The money?
Oh, yeah, true. That's pretty hard. So, like the money. What's the average apartment price here? Is it $1 million?
Average apartment price?
Yeah.
$1.6 million.
Fuck. How are people doing it out here?
They don't.
Okay. Fair.
They just don't. I mean, New York City is unaffordable. And no one is doing anything to make it more affordable.
Right.
At all. The way you make things more affordable is you create more things. That is how you do it.
Yeah.
People wanted more TV shows, they created more networks. You want less price homes, create more homes. And that is the hardest thing is affordability. Housing prices have outpaced income at like 10 to 1. And so rent.
Do you think it will come back down at all?
No, I think the starter home is dead. I think it was a matter of kind of the idea of the American dream from like 1950 literally until 2019. And I think 2020 turned it on its head. And I think people are renting longer. They're buying less. They're getting married later. They're having kids later. But the flip side of that is the opportunity you have to create money now is through the roof. There was never even a phone to make money on 10 years ago. Like it existed, but you couldn't make money on it. 20 years ago, there was no smartphone. Like the opportunity to make money in so many different ways is really, really, really incredible. And I give a lot of credit to people growing up today who are entrepreneurial, who say, oh, I don't have to have just one job from 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I can do 10 things. I can do what makes me happy. I can make money in lots of different ways. I mean, you do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm trying to be more like you. This is fucking crazy. What makes you happy these days?
What makes me happy these days? My daughter makes me happy.
Yeah.
She's hilarious and awesome and crazy, and she negotiates with me, and I'm like, what did I create? My wife, family, I have a big family, people, relationships. I go on walks now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Walks are nice.
I never used to walk. New York City it's a walking city, but it's also either 100% humidity or 100% negative freezing temperatures.
Yeah. No in between. Today was fucked.
Today's so humid.
I walked outside and bro, you probably saw me. I was like,
Yeah, and there's no air.
yeah, what?
Because the canyons of the towers
Yeah.
prevent airflow. And so you're in a concrete greenhouse in New York in the summers. And so it's really hot. And so so it's harder to walk. But I got on a bike the other day. I think turning 40 really messed me up.
Why? In what way?
Because I do weird old guy things now, like going on walks in the middle of a day.
That's good.
Is it good?
I love walking. I
Yeah.
went for a walk this morning
Yeah.
in Central Park. Is there a personal investment that you have that enhances your life?
That enhances my life.
Yeah.
My driver.
Oh, that's probably good.
I've had
You need one here, right?
I've had a driver for 15 years.
Wow.
You don't need any of this stuff.
Okay.
Is it nice to have one? Absolutely. But it's an investment. I know exactly what it costs for the car, the insurance, the gas, and for the driver. And I know how much more money I have to make to afford it. And so you just go make more money to afford it.
$2 million a month.
Same thing. I have an assistant who handles email for me from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. every night. He's an investment too, but that buys me time back. I have 4 assistants that do that. But like leveraging out critical tasks makes me incredibly happy. So
Yeah.
like having staff and helping them, they can help me do all the things that I don't have to do
Yeah.
is awesome.
Do you believe in a work-life balance, or is it all just one
I
big thing?
believe in work-life synergy.
Okay.
I think the lie of balance is like a seesaw when you're a little kid.
Yeah.
Work and life, except you're trying to do it by yourself. I've never seen anyone successfully ride a seesaw by themselves. You just go up on your legs and down on your legs and up on your legs and down on your legs.
Yeah.
And then eventually you forget and the seesaw taps you in the balls, Like
Yeah.
it's not good. And so, but synergy works where like it's all one. Like you don't have a work event, it's an event, and you bring your family to it. It's not a work day, it's a day. And my daughter's going to swing by at 3 after she gets out of school, and she's going to sit in a meeting and tell people what to do. And
That's so
then I'll be
cool.
home later, and we'll do emails together as much as possible. I think if you remove kind of the either the work or the life, and just say there's no work-life balance, there's just balance. There's no work-life day. There's just let's have a great fucking day.
Damn.
And I'm going to work it, and I'm going to live the shit out of it.
Do you schedule in family time, or is it just if they come in?
It depends. It
it
depends on the. I mean, they're in Greece right now.
Good for them.
It depends. I really try to reserve Saturdays for Xena. I call
Okay.
them Saturdays, Datterdays.
Oh, good.
And I do that. I don't play golf because I'm not a selfish prick. And if I'm not working, I'm with family. If I'm with family, I'm working or not working.
Yeah.
That golf line's gonna fuck me. I
Yeah,
don't know why I just said
you're
that.
gonna be cooked on that.
But I will say,
No, you're gonna
I
be
will
cooked.
say, I will put this out there.
Yeah.
My dad traveled around the world 2 weeks out of every month when I was growing up.
Wow.
And on Saturdays, he was home, and on Sundays, he played golf. He could have been home, but he played golf. And he's not a professional golfer. I find it so hard to take time away from either work or family to do things that are unproductive. I get it. Have fun, do things. But like I have clients and I have friends who have families who like play 18 holes of golf on an entire day on a weekend, who were at work the entire week. And I'm like, guy, if you don't want to be with your family, just say so. Like, what do you either go pro or don't go pro? Like, are you making money? Are you drinking? Are you gambling?
Yeah.
Like, I get I don't know. And maybe I have a disease. But it's just like, it's wild to me. Like, I just don't get it. My older brother golfs too, and I'm like, dude, what
the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, what do you do?
I tried to do it one time, and I just look stupid. Like, I'm too tall for the clubs.
I know you are tall. Yeah, I'm tall. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe I would love it if I was great at it. I'd probably be sitting here and be like, man, golf is the way.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the same.
Dude, golfing. Dude, if you don't golf, you're an idiot.
And while we're over here hyping up going for a walk, like, yeah, if you guys go for a walk, it's good. Is there one thing that you're willing to splurge on to reward yourself?
Bracelets? No.
Yeah. Are you a big watch guy?
I do have watches.
Yeah.
This is a nice one.
That's a good one.
This is a FP Journe.
Wow.
I don't really care about stuff though.
Yeah.
I wish, man. I wish I cared. Like, I have friends and clients who, like, man, they won't shut up about cars and watches or golf or these things. And I'm like, I want that. I want that level of care. I get really excited in investing in the company and the business, and like every $100,000 that I could spend on a thing is money I could spend on hiring an in-person and employing them and giving them a job and then building something with them. And it is so hard for me to not think that way, or investing in a company. So.
But when you hit like a massive milestone, like say you sell a $900 million property, what do you get? Are you celebrating, or are you just like, cool, let's keep it moving? Is it like, surely you got to be like, come home and be like, all right.
There is a Wall Street Journal. So when I told you I sold that house for $133 million.
Yeah.
In Palm Beach, and I was staying at the Breakers in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And we signed the contract. It's like, this is the second most expensive home that's ever sold in the United States, next to Jeff Bezos, who paid $165 for his place in Beverly Hills. And the buyer got on his airplane and flew away. And I was by myself. And I went down to the restaurant at the Breakers Hotel, and I sat by myself, like, in silence. Like, what do I do now? And I ordered steak and lobster.
Yeah.
And I just, like, had a surf and turf dinner for one. And the press found out so fast, and they called me. And there's a Wall Street Journal article that starts with, celebrity real estate broker Ryan Serhant is having steak and lobster for one. And I'm like, so that's, and then I went back to work the next day. I was like, I guess I should go do this. I guess I should let's go do this again and just do it bigger and use it. I don't know, man. I'll come on this podcast in 20 years and I'll tell you everything I said today was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Because I've matured further. I don't know.
We have a final few questions, but before we do that, I just want to know, what is your skincare routine? Because you came in glowing, and I'm like actually curious. Is it like a good night's sleep? Like, what do you have a 10-step program? Like, what is it?
I had rash acne as a kid, and I wanted to be an actor. Really tough.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. And then I hit college, and rash acne turned into rosacea. And so my face looked like a pimply fire hydrant for like years, and like no girlfriends. No acting when you look like that. Completely self-conscious. Really, 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 really low self-esteem. And that's how I grew up. Plus, I was like overweight in elementary school. And my mission was to, like, I just want to have a face where when I say hi to people, their eyes don't move around my face.
Yeah.
That was my dream. And I spent a lot of time growing up walking on the street with my eyes on the ground, because I just was so uncomfortable to make eye contact with people. And I think acne and rosacea they're more acceptable today, with social and people. And I give so much credit to like Alex Earl, who I'm a big fan of, and others who have just like been really upfront and have brought it into the mainstream and said, hey, so many people deal with this. It's not, but when I was growing up, it was shameful. And so I found a dermatologist, his name is Dr. Nays. He had a book called Beating Rosacea, where he talked about using low-dose Accutane, but super low dose. So no side effects, like 20 milligrams every 4 days versus 80 milligrams once a day. And once you run through that, you do a laser called V-beam, which reduces the size of the pores in your face. And I just wanted to wake up with my face not on fire, covered in pimples and zits. And so I followed that regimen, and it saved my life. And I do a V-beam laser once a year now, and I wear suntan lotion every day for like 24 years. And so I think a mixture of all that, plus I don't drink, I don't smoke, I drink so much water, I think is the answer.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to get a V-beam. Final 4 questions, and then I know you're a busy guy, so we'll get you out of here. If you had to cast an agent or broker for another real estate show, for another real estate show on your show, who would you call?
You.
Me?
You'd bring viewers, you'd bring eyeballs. That's the producer in me.
Yeah.
And you would be such a disaster for me.
Yeah, I'd be a train wreck.
You would be a train wreck. You'd cause so many HR problems, but that would be good TV.
Okay, I like that answer.
Get your license. Let's go.
No, bro. I'd be too scared to work for you. You're so sweet. Anyway, who are the 4 people on your Mount Rushmore of reality TV stars?
I mean, the Kardashians on one. I would say the cast from the first ever Real World on MTV, because really that didn't there. Ozzy Osbourne from the Osbournes.
Damn.
Like the people that I grew up with watching on reality TV. And then probably like Lisa Vanderpump, old
She's
school.
the goat.
Yeah, she's the queen.
She's a goat.
She's
Yeah.
the queen.
What is the best guilty New York City late night food run when you're on the go?
Domino's
Really?
for every
Simple.
New Yorker.
Simple.
Yeah, man, because it's so national, it's so common, and it's so terrible for you. Like it's and because there's so few of them.
Yeah, there's less. What is the biggest similarity with soap acting and reality TV?
It's like it is just the number one focus on a soap and on reality TV is 200% of your emotional core on camera. And that's what it is. That's what people want to watch. They want to sit back and say, damn.
Yeah,
That's
it.
That's both of those shows.
Well, Ryan, this has been an absolute dream.
Thanks for having me.
I'm such a fan. Anything you want to plug? All right.
Just if you're looking to buy, sell, rent, or work with a real estate company, Serhant, let's go.
There's a lot of people who want to buy that watch the show. Thank you guys so much. If you are new here, please subscribe and leave us 5 stars. We'll see you again next week. Thank you. Awesome.